Today I am going to discuss about the topic capacitance of a capacitor. Basically, capacitor is used to store electric charges, or it is used to store electric energy. What is a capacitor and how a capacitor is constructed? What are the different types of capacitor and how capacitors can be connected in series, in parallel, and how the electric energy is stored in the capacitor? These points we are going to discuss in this session. Fine. First of all, as we know that capacitor is a system of two conductors separated by some distance. This is a conductor 1. This is a conductor 2, and these two conductors separated by some distance. This is called a capacitor, and the capacitor is connected to a source of electricity, battery, and the same thing can also be drawn by using two parallel plates. This is also a capacitor, and these two are two rectangular plates and they are separated by some distance. This is also called capacitor. It is connected to a battery. Look at this second diagram. One plate of the capacitor is connected to positive terminal of the battery. The other plate of the capacitor is connected to negative terminal of the battery. Okay. These plates, it gets positively charged. This plate, it gets negatively charged. And there exists an electric field between the two plates of the capacitor. As we studied that the direction of the electric field is always from positive to negative. Okay. After attaining constant charge on each plate of the capacitor, there is a uniform electric field inside the capacitor. So that uniform electric field is denoted by E. That uniform electric field between the two plates of the capacitor is denoted by E. At every point, the strength of electric field is same. Fine. What are the uses of capacitor? They are used in amplifier circuit. They are used in many electronic and electrical circuits to store electric energy or electric charges. Fine. What is the principle of capacitor? As you know that a battery is connected which provides the potential difference. Okay. And as you learned in the beginning of this class that the charge acquired by the capacitor, it depends on the potential difference. Q is the charge acquired by each plate of the capacitor. This is plus Q. This is minus Q. The charge that is getting stored on each plate of the capacitor is directly proportional to the potential difference that we applied across the capacitor. This battery keep on sending delta Q amount of charge to this plate. Okay. So what is the principle of capacitor? The charge acquired by the capacitor is directly proportional to the potential difference applied across the capacitor. Then, keeping one proportionality constant here, we can write that CV. C is a proportionality constant. C is equal to Q upon V. This charge per unit volt is called capacitance. Charge per unit volt is called capacitance of the capacitor. It is the ability of the capacitor to store electric charges. Okay, the capacitance of the capacitor is measured by SI unit known as Farad. Farad. To honor Michael Faraday, the SI unit of capacitance of the capacitor is given as Farad. 1 Farad is equal to 1 coulomb by 1 volt. The capacitance of the capacitor is said to be 1 Farad if 1 coulomb of charge acquired by each plate of the capacitor when a potential difference of 1 volt is applied across it. I repeat, the capacitance of the capacitor is said to be 1 Farad if 1 coulomb of charge is acquired by each plate of the capacitor when a potential difference of 1 volt is applied across this capacitor. Fine. Then, how do we write the symbol of capacitor? 2 parallel plates connected to 2 wires. This is the symbol of capacitor. This is also the symbol of capacitor, but it is a variable capacitor whose value keep on changing as we rotate the knob. In our labs, variable capacitors are available, and this is a fixed capacitor. If you have old radio in your home, you can check that the knob we are rotating, actually we are changing the capacitance of the capacitor in the tank circuit, in the tuning circuit. In the radio tuning circuit, there are 2 devices. One is the inductor and the other one is capacitor. Here we have connected a variable capacitor. As we change the capacitance of the capacitor, the frequency of this tank keep on changing. By the formula that we are going to learn, 1 upon 2 pi under root L by C. Sorry, under root 1 by LC. So as we change the value of C, frequency also changes. But the inductance of the inductor is kept constant. Okay, this we will see the topic AC current. Come back. This Farad is a very big unit. How to prove that 1 Farad is a big unit? We have a formula that I am going to derive shortly. The capacitance of this capacitor is equal to epsilon naught A by T. Epsilon naught is permittivity of free space, whose value is 8.85 into 10 raised to minus 2. Okay. Let us take the capacity of the capacitor is 1 farad. The distance between the two plates of the capacitor, let us take it is 1 mm. 1 mm, 1 millimeter. 1 millimeter means 10 raised to minus 3. This is 1 farad into A. So if you do this calculation, how much it comes? 1 into 1, 1, 10 raised to minus 3, then divided by 8.85 into 10 raised to minus 2. You take this 10 raised to minus 12 to the numerator, it becomes 10 raised to plus 12. Plus 12 minus 3, that becomes 10 raised to 9. So, 10 raised to 9. And here it is 1 by 8.85. Okay. You borrow one zero from 10 raised to 9. What you get is 10 by 8.85 into 10 raised to 8 meter square. So if you take this one, 10 by 9, approximately if you take, so what you get is 10 raised to 8 meter square. That means each plate of the capacitor should have area 10 raised to 8 meter square. It's very difficult to construct a capacitor of each plate area 10 raised to 8 meter square. It is almost impossible. It is impossible to construct the capacitor of each plate area 10 raised to 8 meter square. The area of this plate and area of this plate should be equal to 10 raised to 8 meter square. This one should be 10 raised to 8 meter square. This one also should be 10 raised to 8 meter square. Then its value will be 1 farad, which is impossible. Therefore, we always make capacitors of small values like 1 millifarad, 1 microfarad, 1 nanofarad, 1 picofarad. 1 millifarad 10 raised to minus 3 farad, 1 microfarad 10 raised to minus 6 farad, 1 nanofarad 10 raised to minus 9 farad, 1 picofarad 10 raised to minus 12 farad. Fine. Then let us go to the next topic. Types of capacitors. In capacitors, there are three types. There are three types in capacitors. One is parallel plate capacitor, spherical capacitor, cylindrical capacitor. So let us discuss about parallel plate capacitor. This is parallel plate capacitor. The other two are not there in our syllabus. Spherical capacitor, cylindrical capacitor, not there in our syllabus. Depending upon their shape, they are classified into three categories. Parallel plate, two plates are parallel to each other. Cylindrical capacitor, these are two conductors. So, this is a spherical capacitor These are the two conductors. This is a cylindrical capacitor. These are the two terminals. Fine. Now, let us find out the capacitance of this capacitor. This is a parallel plate capacitor. What is the topic? Topic is capacitance of parallel plate capacitor with vacuum, free space, no material medium, there is empty space, free space, vacuum medium. Okay, you take the outer area of the capacitor and the area in between the two plates of the capacitor and the outer area of the capacitor. Here, as we know that when this plate is connected to positive terminal, it acquires positive charge. This acquires negative charge. If you consider 3 points here, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Here, the direction of electric field due to this positive charge or due to this positively charged plate is radially outward, and due to this negatively charged plate is radially inward. Since the distance between the two capacitors in reality is very, very small, it's in terms of millimeter, it is very, very small. So if two plates are separated by 1 millimeter, it appears that electric field at this point, due to positive and due to negative, will be equal and opposite. When the distance between the two plates is very, very small. So here also, this is electric field due to positive. This is electric field due to negative. This one I call E1. This one I call E2. So E will be equal to, in the first region, E will be equal to 0. Because they are equal and opposite, they get cancelled. Hence the net electric field in the first region is 0. Let us calculate the electric field in the third region. Here, this is electric field due to positive. This is electric field due to negative. Electric field due to positively charged plate. Electric field due to negatively charged plate. For negatively charged plate, electric field is radial inward. For positively charged plate, electric field is radial outward. This is the point we have considered in the third region, where the electric field again is 0. E1 minus E2 0, because electric field are equal and opposite. They get cancelled. The assumption is here that when the distance between the two plates is very, very small, of the order of millimeter or even less than that, in such situation, in the second region, in the first region and in the third region, the net electric field due to these plates is 0. Now let us calculate what is the electric field in the second region. Electric field in the second region, it is very interesting. Due to positively plate, radially outward. Due to negatively charged plate, radially inward. Both are in the same direction. Both electric field. E1 is the electric field due to positively charged plate. E2 is the electric field due to negatively charged plate. Since both of them are in the same direction, therefore the net electric field would be added algebraically. E1 plus E2. E1 plus E2. Net electric field is equal to E1 plus E2. But in the first chapter we learned that electric field due to a single sheet, due to a plane charge, E is equal to sigma by 2 epsilon naught. If you remember, we learned this in one of the application of Gauss theorem. What we learned? This is one. A plane sheet over which positive or negative charges are uniformly distributed, and we considered one Gaussian surface, either it is a parallelopipe or cylindrical, and this is the direction of the area vector, area vector, and okay, you take it for area vector A, and electric field is E. Positive charges are there radially outward, and this is the area vector. It's always normal to surface. This side also, electric field and area vector are in this direction. So from this diagram, what we derive? We consider flux by using the definition E dot A, EA cos theta,